Well, good, man. Everything's good on my end, man. Just sitting here at work and talking to you, man.
I
Look
heard
forward to
that.
talking to you.
So look, man, real quick, man. I'm gonna quiz you real quick. See how sharp you are. What's my nickname for you and Candy?
Come
What
on, man.
what I call
Um,
y'all?
I don't know if it's Ike and Tina or what you call us, man.
Y'all, I got a couple
I know
names,
it.
but when I can't reach y'all, I always say y'all. I can get Barack and Michelle on the phone quicker than I can get y'all on the phone, man. But
Come
you,
on,
y'all,
man.
y'all,
Look,
y'all, y'all are a golden couple, man, and we'll get into that. So I like to work backwards. A lot of times people start with how they started, but I like to kind of get people up to date to kind of what you got going on now. So, but before we get into that, can we talk about your beautiful family, man? Tell me about how long you and Candy been married now.
wow, man. We've been married 15 years. Um, yeah, we've been married 15 years. We've been together, I want to say, man, I don't know, 25 years.
25 years.
Maybe even longer than that, man. And in all honesty, we should have been married. That's my soulmate, and I was dragging my feet. It wasn't on her, and it was totally on me. And we're doing great, man. We got three beautiful daughters. One's in her last year at Western Michigan University, so that little bit will be out of my pocket in about 5 months. She'll be finished.
Oh man, it's the
We got
new
a
age,
tenth.
man. They don't get out daddy's pockets. They move back
Hey,
home
look,
now, homie.
no. We done changed her room already. It's already been changed out. Ain't no revolving doors at the Hawkins at the
Okay.
Hawkins house. So we got our 10th grader, and then we have a third grader, man. And all my girls are doing great, man. They all athletic. Kaya played basketball. That's the oldest one. Ran track. Now we got our middle kid who is nationally ranked and runs all over the country. She runs track and plays basketball. And even my baby now has gotten off in the track, and she's highly ranked in the 400 and the high jump. And so I got some athletic little girls, man, and they all daddy's girls.
Right. So then, like now, I remember one time I asked you, I said, man, Hawk, you don't want no boys or nothing? And he was like, man, I'm good. And now that I got a girl, even when I wanted my first kid, my wife wanted a boy and I wanted a girl. And I always joke with him, was like, the boys will put you in a retirement home. You do them girls right, they'll take care of their daddy forever. With the little Kobe stuff going on and all these people, hashtagging girl dad like it's something popular. You've been doing that for ages, man. And what was it about? I mean, did you, before y'all had kids, did you have a desire to have any sons, or did you never really think about it, or what?
No, man, I'm initially, man, I wanted a son. That was something I talked about before we even had kids. With the whole, and I think that was just part of the whole male ego and the testosterone in me. I want a kid and that I can, teach my football craft to and all of that. And that was when I was younger, man. But once I got a little older and we really talked about having children, I was just blessed that the good Lord gave us, healthy kids. And I tell you what, man, there's nothing like having daughters, because my daughters have brought out another side of me that I didn't know existed. You know, Little girls are, especially daddy's girls, man. There is a soft side to me and to my voice, my thinking, uh, just everything, man. It's just a beautiful thing. What little girls bring to your life, and you're right. I know for a fact I won't be in an old folks' home.
Right.
One of them have me at their house if I need to be there, or they'll
Right.
be at my house. I know that for a fact.
So then on there too, Hawk, real quick, I was gonna ask you like kind of like a two-part thing. So like how did you and Candy meet? And for y'all don't know, Candy she went to Michigan State with us as well. But how did y'all? I mean, how did y'all start talking? How did that happen?
Well, actually, man, it's a whole bunch of jokes. She's a couple years younger than me. There's the joke that when the freshman bus pulled up, I was standing outside with the balloons and all of that. But in all reality, Bill Johnson introduced us to each other. Bill and I were rolling through campus one day, and she was walking, and Bill was like, "Man, I got somebody I want you to meet." So we stopped, and he introduced us, and we had a little small talk, and we just kind of went on our way, and we ran into each other a couple other times, and had some more small talk, and from there, one thing kind of led to another, and we got attached at the hip, and here we are to this day, man.
Now, where is Candy from?
Candy is from, she's actually from Kalamazoo, but she grew up in White Pigeon, Michigan, a little small place, right on the border of Michigan and Indiana. Not a little rural place, got one stoplight, she's a special woman, man. She does some great things. She helps hold our family down, man. Wow, and allows me to do all the things that I do. Trying to help others and being here as the athletic director and spending the hours that I spend at work. She holds it down.
So then I was going to ask you too. So you touched on, some of the things that the girls bring out in you. So how does Candy kind of compliment you? Like, I mean, y'all partners in crime. So like, what does she give you? I mean, I would always tell people people ain't the best. They ain't them best selves until they kind of get their partner. That partner kind of completes them. And what did Candy kind of add to you? What did she give you?
Well, stability, true love, somebody that's ride or die. But on the other end, she is the first one to tell me, you messing up, or you making a bad decision, or, just being honest, not, she ain't here to, take none of my BS,
right?
Or, just along for the ride. It's a team thing.
Right.
And, it has been, it's been the best thing for me, being married and having a partner has been great for me, man. Being single and being out here and running the streets and all of that, that is, that wasn't for me. I did that, been there, done that, that got old real fast, man.
Yeah. And then I thought, one of the things that was cool, I ain't never tell you, but I admired it. I thought it was honorable, man. I ain't gonna even lie to you. When for your bachelor party, we weren't encouraging you to do the best things, and boy, you wasn't having it the night before the wedding, man. You was like, nigga, no, no. Now me on the other end, I don't know. Did y'all come to my wedding? Did you come to my first wedding? Say no, because you don't want to be affiliated with my bachelor party. Yeah, my bachelor party was like a movie. You did honorable, man. I knew y'all was gonna be married a long time. I said, Hawk serious, boy. He ain't playing around, man. He didn't let it all go. So that was, I remember that. That's what stood out. I remember the wedding and everything, but I was like, man, Hawk having a bachelor party, it's gonna be cracking, But I'm here to attest, man. Hawk held it down, boy. He wasn't playing that night.
Hey, look, man. Look, the pressure is on, man. The fellas always put the pressure on. It's always on.
Yeah. So what was it? So you felt like you kind of waited. She waited for you, and once you made the decision, you was done. He was like, I ain't doing that stuff no more, huh?
Yeah, man. Well, just like I said, man, we were seeing each other for a long time, but it was early on. It wasn't time for me to get married, man. Because if I had gotten married earlier, I would have definitely been divorced.
Right.
So it was just trying, growing up, being growing into a man. It took a while. It was a process. Um, that kind of the life that I was living. The life in the NFL and traveling all over the place, and in different cities every other weekend.
Right.
It was tough. It was tough when you were 22 years old, man, to kind of navigate the waters and make the best decisions. And in hindsight, would I do some things differently? By all means, but
Hell yeah,
do I have any?
we got girls. We do a lot of stuff differently.
Right. Hey, look, and cats always telling me, you got all girls because you about to pay the piper now. Some of the things you did, but.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't even yell at the girls at my job no more. I would tell my daughter if she was working for somebody to work for somebody who got a daughter. I mean, it made that much of a difference. So I know everything that you're talking about, but you got 3 of them.
Yeah, man.
So look, now let's talk about what you into now, man. Where you working at, man? What you doing over there? Are you still in the Flint area, man? So what do you got going on?
So I'm the athletic director of community education, and the head football coach at Beecher High School, which is my alma mater. And this is year number 15. I initially thought I'd come back. Our athletic department was in shambles. I thought I'd come back for, 2, 3, 4 years maybe, try to help get things in order and then, get off into something else, man. And here I am, 15 years later, man. And, each day is different. I get a lot of enjoyment doing what I'm doing, influencing young people's lives, running, out there. I'm connected to athletics, which is, my first love. So it makes coming to work is, easy for me. And, I enjoy what I'm doing. But I got some other things that I would like to do.
How did you even get into that? I mean, did you take was the first role a coach or AD, or how did that conversation start? I mean, how did it even come about? Was you just keeping tabs on the high school and you kind of felt you saw a need and feel the need, or like, how did you even get into that?
Well, initially, man, when I was still playing, in the off season or we'd have an off week or something, I might come home and see my mom. And maybe it was a game, and I'd come up, go to the high school, check out a game. Couldn't even stay till halftime. Like, this is terrible, man. No direction. Things were not what I was accustomed to seeing. The athletic program that I grew up in. So, after I retired, the whole time, you still getting calls about the high school. My partners that still live here letting me know what's going on. But after I retired, we moved back, to the Michigan area to be closer to my mom, who was actually ill at that time. But she's actually doing great now. But the head football coaching position became available, and with me being 30 miles away, everybody that I can think of blew my phone up. Hawk, man, you got to come and apply for the head coaching position. So I thought about it, applied for the head coaching job, got the head coaching job. Now, the athletic director who interviewed me after he hired me, 3 days later, I guess he got a bigger, better deals at this other school. So he left. The AD position became available. Once again, my phone blew up. You got to apply for the AD job. That way you can help influence the entire sports program. So thought about it, applied, got that job, and 15 years later, man, here I sit, man.
Now, is the AD job is just for the high school or what?
No, well, I got K through 12, and with the director of community education tag, that means I got every of our volunteer Saturday and Sunday programs. So any ball that bounces in this school district, I'm responsible for.
Oh, it ain't just the school. You the AD of the school district?
Yeah, I got the school district. So I'm, like I said, K through 12, man.
Okay.
And the weekend programs, with AAU and all of that, volunteer basketball, volunteer cheerleading, all of that. I oversee everything that's related to sports in the entire school district.
So
it never stopped.
what was that conversation like with Candy? Like you said, okay, I'm a coach, and it's going to take up this much of time, and then you committed to do these other things. I mean, she was on board with it, or what?
She was on board with it, man. She initially thought just like me that we would do this for a couple of years, and maybe get off into something else. And she's basically now a Buccaneer. We're the Beecher Buccaneers.
Right.
She is basically a Buccaneer. She's team mom. She runs our booster club. She actually now works in the building. She is she's one of our interventionists. So she has jumped in with 2 feet, man.
Right.
And that's basically how it's been. The whole time with our relationship, whatever I've had going on, if it's been a good thing, she's supported me 100%.
Right.
And and it's vice versa. Whatever she has going, I'm there to support her also. So it's it's actually involved our whole family. I mean, when my daughters were younger, it wasn't nothing to come to our concession stand and you would see 3 Hawkins girls working at the concession stand, man.
Right.
Just getting volunteer hours in, and so it became a family thing, man. And it's been good.
So then, if it was a BH and a AH, a before the Hawkins and after the Hawkins, what type of impact have y'all been able to have on the school and the program?
Oh man, I mean, we are one of the best programs in the state of Michigan, and I don't do a bunch of praising, what we do here, but the proof is in the pudding. We've won, 5 state championships now in the last 9 years in basketball. Our football team is, we're perennially in the playoffs and make runs. So when I first took over, say as the head football coach, the record was 10 and 100 and 104 or something like that over like a 8-9 year span. So now we are every year we in the playoffs. We the measuring stick around here in Genesee County. My basketball teams right now, we got a kid. We got the number 1 ranked point guard in the whole state. He's going to Oregon. We got a kid that just committed to the University of Kentucky for football. Over these 15 years, we're responsible for about anywhere from 135 to 150 kids, going to college for athletic scholarships.
So Hawk, on that, if y'all sending 150 on scholarships, then that mean their grades got to be up too. What was have y'all seen an impact on the performance of the students academically since y'all got there? Y'all been able to influence that as well, or what?
Oh, absolutely. So when I first got here, man, that it's funny you brought that up. That first year as the head coach, I get here, the buzz around the community. We got get out there, it's 75 kids out stretching. And then the principal at that time, I want to say about a week into doing this, the principal at that time came down to the field, pulled me to the side, had this long list. After they got done plucking these kids off, we were down to, I want to say, about 38 kids. And I ain't kidding, man. He grabbed 40 kids. All of these kids are ineligible for the season. So that immediately, once that hit, once school started, one of the first things that we implemented here was study hall.
Right.
And that's after school study hall. But outside of that, I think just the biggest change came with me being in the building. A lot of people have told me that, I'm here every day, and I hold the kids accountable. A lot of times when they get in trouble in class, the email or the phone call comes directly to me, and I'm like a magician. I'll appear at their door.
Right.
And where they show out at in class is where I go and show out at.
Right.
So you want to act a fool? I'm about to show everybody we about to handle this right now and get to the bottom of it. And I think that a lot of times kids don't know that they want discipline until they actually get discipline and find out that, you know what, is good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And, once we got our claws into a couple kids and they started to get, positive feedback from the teachers and the grades started to go up and their demeanor was different. We talked to them and teach them about being just good human beings. I always stress, be a good person, man. And a lot of the problems you're having, you won't have.
Right.
And so we came in just and changed the culture, man. It wasn't just about, building a football team. I always say I came in to build a program. And the biggest part of building a program was instilling discipline, changing the culture, and getting these kids just basically to believe in themselves, to know that they matter. We're here at Beecher High School. We are in the bottom 5% of bottom 5% poor schools in the state of Michigan. At one point, when they did the census, there was over 60% unemployment of our students' parents. So there's a lot of, they had lost hope, man. They had lost direction. Their heroes were the guys that were on the corners.
Right.
So, they needed somebody to come in and just, change that outlook, give them some hope, show them, this is what a man looks like, how to respect women. We go over everything, man. We sometime during our, we'll have tie-tying sessions, with these young boys.
Right.
I had no idea how to tie a tie. So just a lot of stuff that we take for granted. Man, these kids needed it, soaked it up. And, now, a lot of them, I'm a father figure to a lot of them. They call me all freaking night.
Right.
I have to turn my phone off at night because they'll call just to say, like, what's up, Coach Hawk? But the best thing about it is we built relationships now that they'll actually call me when things are about to happen that they know that we've talked about.
Right.
For help, man. Like, look, Coach, I've had calls at 2:00 in the morning. Coach, can you come and get me?
Right.
This and this is about to happen, man. Or there was a bad fight at this party. There's guns out. Can you come and get me?
Right.
Or can you send somebody to get me? So, it's been good, man.
So then on there, Hawk, like, how much time you what's a typical work day? How many hours you at the school from what time you get there and what time you get out of there?
Man, Kurt, I'll tell you what, man. So I normally get here around 9. School starts at 7:40 for us. So I'll get here at 9:00, and I'm usually here, especially during the winter months. I'm here from 9 to probably 10:00 at night. And this is like every night, 5 days a week, man. It is for me doing 12, 14 hours is typical.
Right.
And and sometimes, there's another 8, 10 hours on the weekend, depending on what we got going on. And, that's why, it's been great that, that my wife works here. We can actually get a chance to see each other a little bit during the week.
Now, y'all, I heard you when you was talking on that Steelers podcast. So you say y'all keep the school open from when to when, 7 days a week?
7 days a week, man. So this is like, so the school, the culture that we created in the school is basically that we gonna lock all the BS outside. We locking the drugs outside. We locking all the fights outside. We locking hopelessness. We locking that outside. When you come through our doors, it's going to be about discipline. It's going to be about love. It's going to be about teaching you to be a good person. All the things that they're not getting outside. When you come into our building, that's what we're about. So the school is basically the hub of this community. and it is the safe spot. So in order to, for us to feel like we're doing what we need to do to service these kids and give them the best opportunity, this building is open. And normally this building is open pretty much 7 days a week from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Really?
And this is on a regular.
And people be there.
People are here, whether it's the basketball coach, whether I'm here.
I'm talking about the kids. They coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Kids are here. Man, we provide everything that you can think of, man. Our school is 100% free lunch.
Right.
So that lets you know, just kind of the demographics and the financial, the financial situation that we're dealing with here, man. It is, but it's a lot of pride here in this community. You would never know some of the struggles that some of these families had and some of these kids have, because they don't wear it around on their sleeves. You would never know.
Right.
But we try to provide everything that we possibly can, man, to make life easier for them and to give them, opportunity to be successful. I mean, we've had some great success stories, man. We sent kids out of here. We got a kid right now at Cornell, that's on a full scholarship, man. We got kids that left here and went to Ivy League schools. A lot of people don't even believe that.
Right. So look, Hawk, real quick too. So y'all got a campaign that y'all got going on now, and y'all trying to. I mean, y'all play like champs and stuff like that, but the facilities are a little bit dated for these kids. And you guys got an opportunity for Holman? They do locker rooms to come in and spend over $100,000 to rebuild you guys a new locker room. Can you talk about that?
Okay. So we entered a national contest, and it's with this company called Holman. And what they do is a lot of the locker rooms that you see on TV that you've seen like Clemson's locker room, Michigan State's locker room, some of these fancy NFL and NBA locker rooms. This is the company that actually did those locker rooms. So they are going to bless a school with a $100,000 locker room makeover. So we put a video together, sent it in, and we are in the final five to win this $100,000 makeover. And the winner will be determined by popular vote. So right now, if you go to Holman.com/Holman Helps, you can vote for Beecher High School. You can vote as many times as you want. All you got to do is hit the refresh button and vote. Our facilities here, the locker rooms, I graduated in 1988. They are the same locker rooms that were there when I graduated. So those locker rooms are actually there before I got here. So I have no idea whether they're 40 years old, 45 years old, but nothing has changed. But just over the years, the common wear and tear, we got bottoms that are rusted out, we got tops that are rusted out. Our girls' locker room, the lockers are, back then, 40, 50 years ago, they were making the lockers so small, the kids can't even put their backpacks in them. So when you go in our girls' locker room, they got all their belongings just out on the bench because their backpacks and stuff don't fit in the lockers.
Your phone kind of glitching, Hawk. I mean, it ain't glitching, but it's a little bit staticky. I don't know if you're in a bad area, but go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Nah, it's kind of staticky. I mean, it's been doing it, but it got a little bit worse. We'll edit this part. Yeah.
Let me see. Well, I'm in the same spot. I don't know what happened, man.
Okay, go ahead.
Still going out?
No, that's better. Go ahead. So the girls' locker rooms, you said they're a little bit small.
Yeah, the lockers are super small, man. So they can't even put their belongings, their backpacks, with their shoes, or they go to practice and maybe they got on a necklace or something. Instead of being able to put it in a locker, they put it in their backpacks and just basically put the backpacks on the bench. Right. So now, things come up missing. So it's just, man, these kids deserve better. We do what we can financially, but just like in most schools, athletics and athletic facilities are, low on the totem pole because education is first, which it should be.
Right.
So most of our dollars are spent, trying to make sure that we got resources and the things to educate these kids. And then, athletics kind of gets, what's left. And so we haven't had a facility makeover, man, man, I don't know, 45, 50 years, man. So we are pushing hard to get people to vote for us. It would be tremendous for this community to be able to get new lockers because, like I said, a new locker room, because the kids are here so much. This is home for a lot of them, man. I mean, we provide so much clothing, washing clothes, just everything, man. Everything you can think of that you do at your home, we do here at this school.
And we ain't asking nobody for no money, right? All they got to do is, I'm going to put the link in the description. All they got to do is click the link and keep voting, right?
That's all they got to do is vote, man. Like I said, you can vote multiple times. If people can share it and vote, beat your high school. We're the first one. So you ain't even got to look at the other videos.
There you go.
Just click on Beat Your High School. Take a look at our video. I'm on there speaking a little bit, kind of telling our truth and telling what, speaking about some of the stuff that we are speaking about now, man. And vote. It'll be huge here.
All right. Now, cool. Now, let's go back to Young Hawk. Let's go back to Tyrone. Your name Tyrone, man?
Watch them out, man. No, that ain't my look, man. We're going to box.
So, look, let's talk about, we're gonna work our way up to Michigan State. But so high school, man, what was you doing, man? Was you playing like these people these days, just playing one sport? Was you a specialist? Or what was you doing in high school athletically?
Oh, man, come on, man. Even as the athletic director here, man, I push hard not to let these kids specialize. Initially I played 4 sports. I wrestled, played basketball, played football, and ran track. But wrestling and basketball couldn't do it at the same time, so I started shooting hoops. I was 3-year All-State in basketball. We won 4 state championships in track. Football, was on the varsity starting quarterback as a freshman, and then I changed to running back as a sophomore, and had a great high school career, broke all these records, set all these different records, and was highly recruited. Ended up,
So you hold on. You didn't play receiver in high school?
No, I didn't play receiver until I got to Michigan State, man. It was this one. And when you get to that part, when we get to Michigan State, we'll talk about this one great guy that affected all of our lives, man.
Right. So then on there, so in your mind, Hawk, why is it? I mean, why is it so important for you now, and why was it important for you then to play multiple sports? Did one sport help you in another, or why do you preach that to the kids?
Well, man, I truly believe that one sport does help you with the other and kind of feeds to the next sport. One thing is also, so if the kids are playing sports all year long, doing different things, it keeps them busy, keeps them occupied. And for the most part, every coach, I know the coaches that I hire here are good people. So I know that these kids are around good people. So we push that, and in order to, like I said, I'm not just trying to have a good basketball team. I'm trying to create a great program. So in order to have a good program, you got to be willing to, willing to push kids, out of their comfort zone and do, other stuff. And also, one of the biggest things to me is at 14 years old, who says that this kid is this great basketball player? Who knows? He could be the next Jerry Rice, or he could be the next Carl Lewis. But he never ever, or she never, attempts it. How would they know?
Right.
And basketball is huge here, and it's pushed so hard. But you got AAU. You go to AAU tournament, man. They got 10 different levels. You could be in the diamond bracket, the platinum bracket. So they got these different brackets. You'll send kids, and some of these kids just they average. And then at the end of 4 years, they had this hoop dream at the end of 4 years when they don't have anything, there's no scholarship offer, there's no money out there. Now it's too late. They've wasted, they wasted an opportunity to possibly, maybe there was money in track. Maybe he was, like I said, a good track runner, maybe a good hockey player, or whatever it is. But you got to put yourself out there and find out what you're good at. Once you get a little older, you can start to, maybe you start to do a little more. But man, you got to do more. And that's
so then that's
here,
what
man.
I mean. You practice that with your girls, right? So they not just in one sport, right? They in multiple sports, right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I like my girls to be busy. We're not sitting at home. I'm not a proponent of sitting at home on the computer and playing video games and all of that. That's not what's going to dominate my daughter's lives. So they're active. They like to compete. They really like to compete. They're super competitive, which makes it fun in my house. We just outside shooting hoops in the driveway. Well, it's going down. They trying to beat Daddy.
Right.
Are
they beating? Has any of them beat Daddy running yet?
No.
So that means Daddy done stopped racing, or you still racing them?
No. So the last time we raced, about 2 years ago, my 10th grade daughter, I got her.
What you make her run some distance, man? You stretched it out on her?
No. Look, we only going. So she's struggling right now. She's young. Her weakness right now is getting out the blocks, getting out the hole. So I'm still decent getting out the blocks. So we ain't running no farther than about 40.
Okay.
But right now, she done got better, and I'm actually, between me and you, I'm actually a little scared because I think if I race her again, she might get me.
Right.
So I think I might be done.
It's time to retire, man. You can't let her get the W on you, Hawk.
No. I'm going to race my youngest one right now. Somebody else that I know I could beat.
All right. So then real quick, working our way up to MSU, man. So you obviously balled out in high school. What was your final three choices, man, of your school? I mean, it was Michigan State, and what was the other top two? Or did you narrow it down to 3 or 4 or what?
Well, I kind of narrowed it down to 5 schools. It was Notre Dame, Michigan State, UCLA, Iowa, and Oklahoma.
Okay.
So those were my 5 schools, and Indiana was kind of in there. So I initially committed to the University of Iowa, and for whatever reason, when I went down there, it was a good fit. Roy Marble was there at that time, who was a teacher, high school grad, and rest in peace, Roy. He was there. He was my host, man, and
didn't he play basketball?
I thought I wanted to play. Yeah, he played basketball at Iowa. He also went on to play in the NBA.
So he was your host for football when you went to the school?
Yeah, because we went to high school together. So when I went down there, they were like, this is we're gonna put you down here with Roy.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. So he was so my freshman year, that would have been his senior year. So he was a senior, big man on campus, man. I went down to the University of Iowa, man. Woo! Had a great time. I'll say that.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So then Iowa and so all these schools, you was going to play running back?
Well, so at Iowa, they told me they were going to give me an opportunity to play running back. Notre Dame wanted me to play defensive back because Ty Light, who was also from Flint, he was starting corner. And, their selling pitch was we had 2 kids from Flint starting out as cornerback. And, it was, went down there and sat and, talked to Lou Holtz, and, Notre Dame just wasn't for me. It was a little different than what I was accustomed to. UCLA was straight up on, I really think they were going to push me on defense. They talked about receiver, but, when I went out there to visit, I spent more time with the defensive side than I did, talking to offensive guys.
Right.
like I said, initially I committed to Iowa, man, and Coach Baggett, called me and we talked, and I remember talking to Coach Saban and talking to Coach Taylor, and
Hold on, man. We
a couple of
glitching.
days before.
Okay, there it go. It popped back in. All right, go ahead. Yeah, so
So
you said
when
Saban
we
hit you. Baggett hit you up.
Baggett hit me up. I talked to Coach Saban, talked to Coach Perlis, and
They now hold on. They called you after you had committed to Iowa. They still was on you, huh?
Yeah, because it was just a verbal. It was just a verbal commit.
Okay.
It was a verbal, and I don't know if it was kind of a knee jerk. I went down there, had such a great time, and everything seemed to, everything seemed just, what I thought I wanted. But after sitting down and talking some more, and then talking to Dre and Woody and all them cats, man, Michigan State just seemed like the best fit. So, I switched, and it was the best decision that I,
So Hogg, when you switched, did Iowa just leave you alone, or they still was like trying to convince you once you said you switched?
Oh, they still were talking. They still, they didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
They didn't go anywhere up until actually National Signing Day.
Okay.
And it was, it was what it was, man. Once I switched, that was it, man. I was done with the recruiting process, because it was, the recruiting process back then was way different than it is now. Now they use social media.
Right.
Back then, your phone just, how it went. Your phone just rang.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So then on there, what did your mom have any a preference, or she was just supporting whatever decision you wanted, or your sisters or anybody, or or was they leaning one way or the other, or they were just going to support whatever you wanted to do?
Man, honestly, man, my mom was just, she was there to help guide me through the process, and it was, for her, it was brand new also. So we were kind of in the process together, man. And she was just basically a sounding board, somebody I could talk to, but she wasn't trying to push me anyway. I think she wanted me just to do whatever would make me happy, and that's how she is now. If I call and ask her some advice on something, she'll give me her thoughts, but not just, she's never really tried to steer me into anything.
Right.
Just been supportive, and allow me to grow and make mistakes and to be successful. So yeah, but it was and part of my decision came too, man, after I said my family's really close. My mom's single parent mom who raised 3 kids, man, and did an awesome job. And part of that did weigh into my decision of being closer, being able to get back to my mom and my sisters. That did end up having a lot of weight to it once I actually sat down and really thought about it.
Now, what was did GP come to your school or your house when they was recruiting you, or it was just bagging them, or what?
No, well, initially it was Coach Baggett and Coach Saban. They came to Beach High School. I'll never forget it. Cool Baggett, come into school, man, and all the teachers asking, who's that coach? Who's that? All the female teachers want to know who Coach Baggett is. But yeah, initially it was them, and then Coach Perlis, he ended up coming to the house, and he sat down with me and my mom, and he had one of the big Super Bowl rings on, man, and he came right in the front, man, and right into this area where there's financial depression and things happening in the streets. He came right in, got out, no big deal to him. He's like, there's no big deal to me. I've been here, done this,
Right.
And came in my house and came in the house, man, and just I'm not gonna say he took over, but he just made me and my mom feel so comfortable, man. And he really gave my mom the sense that, you know, he was going to take care of me as more of like a father figure versus than, you know, he's just going to help our football programs. I mean, she really felt like, you know, this man has really got my son's best interest, and it ain't just about football. And he just came across as this genuine person, man. And so he won my mom over. There's no question. Out of all the coaches that came to the house,
yeah,
he definitely won. He definitely won that battle, sitting in our living room.
I mean, so if people don't know GP, what was it about him you think that, like, I mean, did he kind of win you over, or was you still on the fence, or you just knew it just made your mom feel comfortable?
Well, you know, he won me over also. You know, remember with the whole recruiting thing, man, it was, you know, they all start to sound the same.
Right.
You know, everybody's telling you you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know, I mean, the one thing about it, he told me he was going to give me the opportunity to play running back. And he gave me that opportunity, you know, for or literally for one practice. But
now tell that story. What happened? What happened?
Well, the first, you know, we get there for 2 days, and you know, we had that morning practice. We were in pads. We finally got to, you know, we started out with no pads. So I'm doing the running back drills or whatever. First day in pads, we go through morning practice. When we get out of practice, we get out our morning practice. We're going to get ready to have lunch and take a break and get ready for our second practice. When I get to my locker, there's a note on my locker. Come to coach's office.
Hey, Hogg, at least it wasn't no black lock on your locker, but go ahead.
So look, no. So you know how the lockers are all in numerical order. So like Dre locker, his number was 1, my number is 5. Then you got Eno's, his number was 4. As soon as they seen the note, they like, man, what you do? You got to go to coach's office. Look, I'm talking about scared. I'm scared to get undressed. Because these dudes is like, man, look, if you got to know from coach to come to coach's office, you done did something. Mm-hmm. So I go to his office, and he sits me down, and he says, you know, you're a Flint guy. And he goes through this story of saying, you know, Daryl Turner, Mark Ingram, Andre Rison, these are all Flint guys, all receivers, all guys that made a lot of money at being a receiver. And he just got to talking. He went straight from college straight to NFL on me. I think that you can be the next straight NFL receiver from Flint. This is literally our conversation. And I'm just sitting there. And I'm really still not digesting where he's going with this. And he's, to make a long story short, he said to me, go back to the dorm and think about it. Think about switching to receiver. And so I leave out. I go to my dorm. I call my mom, boo-hooing like a baby. Mm-hmm. Mom, they want to switch my position. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to switch.
You was about to transfer, huh?
I was about to transfer. But look, she basically told me, like, look, you don't call me with that. You in it now. Listen to your coaches. You always listen to your coaches. You know, she gave me a little calming down kind of talk. So, you know, so afterwards, I'm still thinking I'm gonna make a decision. We get back for the second practice. I open up my locker. You know, running backs, you got big pads, big knee pads. Right. Open up my locker. I got little pads, little thigh pads, little knee pads. So basically, he kind of put it out there like I was, allow me. But the choice was made by him, man.
Right. So that's how you made the switch?
That's how I made the switch. That second practice, I was with the receivers.
Really? Just so did you ever talk to him again about it or what? Or
look, there was never even. First of all, he already knew, man. We was already. You're a freshman. You're a booger. All of that. Right. You already on pins and needles. So I didn't really question too much. The person that might have said something to might have been Coach Baggett. That was about it.
But what was Baggett? What was Baggett coaches? He was coaching the receivers, right? So you went to Baggett from
Yeah.
Saban. I mean, you went from running back to receiver.
Yep, running back to receiver, and Coach. I will say that. I mean, with our conversation, I didn't go through the whole conversation because I was in there for a little while, but he was reassuring. I mean, he made me feel like, even though I didn't know it, I kind of knew it, I guess. The way he put it was that this was the best thing for me.
Right.
So I was sad about it, but I wasn't. If you understand, if I can put that in the proper context, and immediately going over there, they're like, here I am, basically just watching everything that Andre's doing. He's right there, helping me out. Willie Boyer, Bernardo Wilson, all these cats, who are all, really good receivers, just took me in, man. And, Coach Baggett coached the hell out of me, from a proper stance to, getting off the jam. I had to learn all of that. I learned all of that right there, my first year, in college, man. I hadn't, in high school, I lined up that receiver sometime and just, I'm the fastest down the field and just ran along and they threw the ball up.
Right.
But I had no idea about running no routes and setting people up and, getting in and out of breaks and, all the finer points of being a great receiver, man. I learned that right at the Duffy, man.
So did you ever get the I told your ass you was gonna be a good from GP? Did he ever speak on that after the fact or what?
Oh, look, this was probably like at least once a week or maybe once every other week during stretch. We'd be stretching, sitting down, stretching or whatever. He might come and kick my shoe and he'd say, glad you listen, old Georgie boy, huh? He liked to call himself Georgie boy. He would say little things like that. All the time, man. And then especially when it was definite that I was going to the league, he would come up and kick my foot. Gonna be a rich man because of old Georgie boy. Just small ways of letting me know that, I'm happy that I listened to him and, and I didn't, buck back because, I could have been, like you said, I could have been pissed trying to transfer, man. But it was the best thing ever happened, man. And one of the best things ever happened was to have a coach like Coach Hurts, man. He was a tremendous influence in my life, man. And and that was, some of the things that he spoke about when we used to be in those huddles or we used to have those one-on-one conversations. I still live by it to this day. And these kids that I'm pouring into up here, they don't know they're getting a lot of what Coach Purvis taught me, man. It's full circle, man. I talk to them about, who drives the dummy.
Yeah.
And yeah, they don't even understand. They laughing at me, and I'm laughing. I'm laughing because they laughing because I'm like, I just stole this from GP.
Right. I call them GP-isms.
Yeah, this ain't no Coach Hawk original right here. This is how I was.
So now, Hawk. So y'all, how did y'all? I guess, I don't know because we were so young when you first met him. Then you go through college, then your pro career, then you have your family. How did y'all relationship evolve over the years? Did you stay in contact with him? After you got drafted and stuff, did you make it back to the school? Do you still talk to him, or how was that from a high school kid to playing professionally and then playing at Pittsburgh, where he had a lot of history there? How was that? Did that relationship evolve or change over time, or what?
It was always, he was always my coach. Even when I, got to the pinnacle, which is the NFL, man. When I first got to the league, of course I came back and, we spoke about being a professional. I remember talking to him about, him having a conversation on how to last in the NFL. So after I left college, it wasn't like, we were just done. I mean, he continued to, pour into me, and to give me guidance, in years after, I reached, after I left Michigan State, man, when I would come back, he would give me just the hugest hug, and you could feel it, it wasn't, just some pat on the back. I mean, he would hug me, like a father would hug a son.
Right.
And if we were out somewhere, I mean, it was always, acknowledging each other and just, he demanded respect, man. He was a great guy, man. And with some people, he got a raw deal. Some people got their own opinions of him, and I respect everybody's opinion. But he was going to run things and do things his way. And if you couldn't figure it out, then of course you were going to have problems with him. And his program wasn't for everybody.
Right.
Everybody couldn't have lasted in GP program, man. Because he was about discipline, but also he wasn't so disciplined that he didn't allow us to be ourselves and didn't allow us to grow and didn't allow us to make mistakes. I mean, he understood that. He was going to admonish you or punish you for making errors, but he allowed us to grow, man. I mean, I tell people all the time, I think one of the genius things that he did was that he would have his NFL friends. When you think about it, Kurt, when we were at practice, almost every practice, there was somebody standing on that sideline from the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And if you weren't motivated to go out and practice like you never practiced before, then you didn't belong. You didn't belong in that green and white. I mean, just walking out of the locker room. I mean, every practice. If that wasn't motivating enough, and in a lot of places, when I got to the NFL and we would kind of, come swap stories, it would be like, my coach didn't allow anybody to be on our sidelines. And I'm like, what? I'm like, man, there's guys out here with microphones at every practice we had at Michigan State. And I just thought that was kind of the atmosphere that he created, man. I mean, it made us great, man.
I remember when I got to Michigan State, I kind of had like a aha moment where you look back. And for me, it was more like, man, my high school ain't prepared me for this shit. But Myron had spoke that when he got to the NFL and he looked back and he was like, GP, this is what we was doing. So when you went to Tampa, did you feel prepared? I mean, did you look back and be like, man, they got me ready for this shit. GP and them got me ready. Or how did you feel? Did you feel like you had the tools and was ready for the NFL?
Man, I was definitely prepared, man. I mean, there's no question about it. He prepared his players to excel at the next level. It wasn't like I got there and was surprised by any of the drills. Wasn't surprised by any of the other athletes. Remember, we played at the University of, we played the youth. We played Florida State. So, we played against, what were considered, football powerhouses. We played against Notre Dame and those cats. So, when I was in the locker room with them, it wasn't no big deal.
Right.
Because every drill, the winning attitude, being a dog, all that was instilled in me, right there, by GP and the staff, man, and everything that we did, man, and leaving Michigan State going to Tampa for me was tough because here I am leaving a place that was winning, going to a place that was struggling, trying to figure it out at that point.
Right.
When I was there, man, for my 5 years in Tampa, man, the most games we won in 1 year was 6 games, man. I wasn't used to that, man.
Right.
That was a killer, to be honest.
Now, Hawk, at Michigan State, did you redshirt or no?
No, I didn't redshirt, man. I played as a freshman, man. I was a kick returner, punt returner, and I would come in and play in the slot at wide receiver. Now, what's crazy is my freshman year, I didn't catch a pass. I ran reverses. I ran back kickoffs. I ran back punts. I had a couple attempts, but I didn't catch a pass
Right.
my entire freshman year.
And that
And
was
then
so
my sophomore year.
your freshman year was 88, so right?
Well, I got out of high school in '88, so yeah,
Okay.
what was that? '88, '89.
Yeah. So then you just, I mean, you blew it out the water in '89, your second year, right? That's so like my thing is like I guess if I think about it, right? Like, I mean, not like that, but when people, I'm looking at these things. You had 60 catches in a GP offense with over 1,000 yards receiving and 6 TDs, right?
Yeah.
Had anybody else put up numbers like that playing receiver at Michigan State before you did that?
No, I'm the first 1,000-yard receiver in Michigan State history. Number one, first time doing that. You know, and you know, back in GP offense, you know, if there was any knock that, you know, me as a receiver that I had was, if I got 6 attempts a game, man, look, I'm running out the locker room with the biggest smile on my face, man.
Right.
I mean, that would probably be the max. You know, nowadays, cats getting the ball thrown to them, you know, 15, 20 attempts. Man, if we were doing something like that, the numbers that myself and Dre would have potentially put up probably would have been untouchable.
Right.
You know, we were getting 6, 7, 5, 4 attempts a game because we were going to run the ball 40, 45 times.
Right.
You know, whether you liked it or not. You know, that was just how the offense was, man. So, you know, to put up those numbers in that offense, man, it was a big deal. And you know, it was a big deal, man.
And then I was going to ask you, too, real quick. So when you was here, Highland was here, right? Highland?
Yeah, Hick Barnes.
So can you, for people that don't know who Highland was or what he was, can you, because I was scared of him, man. Highland used to be out there with no gloves, ashy as hell, big ass thighs or whatever. But I mean, can you talk about, you know, him and you know, like what type of personality and who he was? And for people that don't know, Highland passed away. But can you talk about him, man?
Man, I tell you what, if you ever, when you talk about somebody that when they get on the field, they're two different people. That was Highland Hickson, man. I mean, Highland was from Florida. I don't quite remember exactly where from Florida, but he was country. I always had some country sayings, and you know, he was funny off the field, man. You know, give you the shirt off his back off the field, but on the field, my man was probably as physical running back that I played with. He was going to let you know he was physical. He was going to let you know that he ran you over. For the most part, he was going to let you know that he was getting the ball. It was almost like being in a huddle, and you would look standing next to him like, man, who is this dude, man?
Right.
Because this is not the cat that's in the locker room or the guy that I'm at training table with or the guy. And really, kind of his alter ego only came out really on Saturdays during the week at practice.
Right.
You know, he was kind of chilling. But on game day, I'm talking about fiery, great teammate, man. But just some of the stuff he used to say, you know, in the huddle, man, or the fire that he used to bring to our offense. You know, man, he was a heck of a running back, man. He was a good dude, man. You know, we all miss him, man.
Yeah, I think somebody was telling me he went to the same high school as Lorenzo and then followed him at Michigan State.
I think that's true. Remember, we had that little Florida pipeline.
Yeah.
You know, that pipeline from Florida cats was coming to East Lansing, man. I think he's one of them.
So look, real quick, man. I always ask people a question. So did you ever get cussed out by GP?
Absolutely.
Oh, you
look,
did?
Man, look. Absolutely. Yeah, I got it. I had to show up at 5:00 in the morning for the 40s and all that. My whole time there wasn't as you guys try to put it that
what GP cuss you out for? What he cuss you out for?
Not going to study hall, not going to study not going to training table. Those were the two. Those were the two biggest. Outside of that, man, I tried to. I kind of stayed under the radar, man. I wasn't trying to be in trouble all the time. Up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, running no 40 messing around with y'all.
I hear you. So I remember the first time I didn't really, I'm from California, so I ain't know who you was, man. I'm 6'2". I was playing free safety. They moved me to corner at Michigan State, and I always wanted to just put my hands on people. I wanted to jam them and all this stuff or whatever. And for people out there listening, could people tackle you at practice, Hawk?
No, man. No. Look, man.
Hey, I'm just asking. It's a yes or no question. So if we playing, could people tackle you at practice?
The answer is, I earned that.
I'm going to ask you, could people touch you at practice?
No, you could touch me.
You couldn't pull on you.
I was so nice getting off the jam. I was nice getting off the jam.
I agree with that. You couldn't touch you. I mean, literally, if you was in the slot or whatever, you couldn't hardly put your hands on you. But I mean, did you practice with a red jersey? Didn't you have a huh?
I didn't practice with a jersey. I wouldn't let them put me in no red jersey.
Oh, I got cussed out for touching this nigga, boy. God damn it, motherfucker. You All-American practice. Don't you put your fucking hands on number 5, motherfucker. What you gonna do on Saturday? If he can't play, don't touch him. Let him run his goddamn route. Boy, I learned quick. I'm like, who is this little nigga?
That's funny, man.
GP, don't touch him. You said
you remember
what?
That like yesterday. You remember that like yesterday. I'm telling you, man.
That was probably the first time I got cussed out by him. I mean, I'm thinking we practicing. You trying to practice and make a name for yourself, but don't touch number 5, homeboy. And I mean, I didn't go pro, but when I think about it, he did run it like a pro practice. Like during the week, if you was a important asset, the running back, the receiver, they didn't. Y'all was carte blanche, man. Y'all was chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, and matter of fact, and it was you are exactly right, because it was that exact same way, when I got to the league, man. There were certain cats, that when we were doing drills, there were certain cats you just didn't throw it up with. You let them finish, they run 50 yards downfield, they don't get touched. You better not touch them.
Right.
Yeah, he prepared us, man. I'm telling you, just like you spoke earlier, GP ran our practices. I'm telling you, there was nothing new, even up to the point of how he ran the periods and all of that. That's exactly how NFL practices are, man. Exactly the same.
So then, real quick in closing, did you get a chance to ever tell him? You ever have a moment where you just told him thank you, or you appreciate it, or whatever? Did y'all ever have that type of conversation, or was it kind of like it was just known?
No, man, we've had that conversation, man. Like I said, man, we had what I consider a really good relationship, man. Whenever I seen Coach, and I used to see Coach a lot of like different functions, and it, right after getting drafted was one of the times I remember telling him thank you, and like I said, within some of the embraces that he and I had, it just wasn't like seeing somebody in passing and just a hug. I ain't seen you in a minute. I mean, it was genuine, man. And, just during like the times I had conversations with him about when he was telling me how to stay in the pros, about being a professional, studying, knowing more than one position. I remember all of that stuff, sitting down with Coach, man. And it was, like I said, he continued to pour into me, after I left. That's why pretty much every off season I made my way up there to see his face, man.
Right.
Just say what's up, and, that was done on purpose. It wasn't just for me to come up there and party or whatever. hang out with y'all or whatnot. You know, I wanted to see him. I needed to see him. I mean, he was that important in my lifespan. You know, so we lost a great one, man.
Right. And now I got a question too, real quick, for y'all can all look up the pro stats Hogg did. What you do? 12 years in the league, right?
No, 9 years, man.
9 years.
Nah.
All right. And
Yep.
real quick though, I don't know if you told me or whatever, but in the end, tell what happened. Your last year in Pittsburgh, you went to Tampa Bay. Then you got drafted in the second round, but you was their first pick, so they obviously really wanted you. You went to Pittsburgh, and you know the year before you played, you got injured, right? And or can you
Right.
tell that story? You said you talked to Cower, and I want you to
Well,
tell it. What happened your last year, man?
okay. Well, my last year, I got hurt, and to the point of I needed to get my knee cleaned out. So, you know, but my contract was up, so I was kind of, you know, gonna hold off and you know, hoping that either I'm gonna be a free agent, needing to go work out with somebody, or let's see what's gonna happen. So basically, I had a conversation with the Steelers. Was like, go ahead, get the knee cleaned out. We gonna make this happen. So I went ahead on and had surgery, thinking, you know what, I'm gonna rehab, get another opportunity again to compete, and you know, see what happens. Because you know, I ain't never over my 9 years, which is crazy. I never got cut over my 9 years off the team. So after having my surgery or whatever, we never came to a contract agreement. So back then, with the salary cap, my cap number, you know, there were some teams that called and they were like, for what we'd have to pay you, we can get 2.5, almost 3 people. So it just never worked out. And
So on there, so if they wouldn't have told you they was bringing you back, you wouldn't have had surgery. You would have held off so you can work out for other teams and probably get another job. But because they told you we gonna have you back, you went on and got the surgery, right?
Yeah, I went on and got the surgery. Yep. And
so that stopped you from being able to work out for other teams, or what?
No, I got back healthy. Man. And you know, it just, you know, I guess the way that league goes, I mean, the competitive side of you, maybe it was the end. I mean, I had to accept that, you know, but it just didn't. I would have preferred, the competitor in me would have preferred going out on the field and saying, you know what, there is 5 or 6 other receivers that are better than me, and I got released.
Right.
But to just, you know, at the end of your 4th year, because you know I didn't go at the end of my 9th year. I didn't go to anybody's training camp. You know, I went and worked out at some point when I worked out for the Bears and somebody else, but you know, it just didn't happen. But I would have preferred, that would have made the transition for me easier. Not having that closure for a minute made it tough, but you know, I'll tell you, man, Lonnie Young, who's a Spartan, and actually graduated from Beach High School also. Lonnie called me not too long after, you know, when I was kind of in limbo. And he was like, look, man, and basically he's like, look, man, you've had a great career. You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You did it. And he actually helped me mentally, you know, close that chapter of my life and close it with some closure.
With some
to
peace.
Understand, you know, yes, he did, man. Because I was still, you know, that desire to compete. I mean, that fire was still burning, you know, but I mean, I would never forget it. And, you know, I told my wife about it, you know, and Lonnie and I probably talked for like an hour, man, because he had been through it. He had already retired. He had been through it, man. And his words actually, you know, gave me some peace of mind where I could say, you know what, man, you know, and he kind of talked about the desire to compete is what's in me. That's going to always be there.
Right.
You know, it's time, and help me on to the next phase of my life, man. And I'm, I always be grateful for that conversation he and I had. And I don't even know if he even remembers it, and I don't even know to this day if I even ever told him. I don't even know if he even knows that conversation. It helped me out, a lot.
All right, and then too, last thing. So if I remember, you weren't you living in Charlotte, or you was in Tampa, or where was you at?
No, I was in Pittsburgh. Well, after I retired, after my ninth year, I stayed in Pittsburgh for about we probably stayed about another 3 or 4 years. Now, what we were going to do, we were planning to buy some land and build a house in Charlotte. And
Okay.
in that process, my mom got sick, man, and I just didn't feel comfortable, being that far away. That's what made me move back to Michigan. And I live probably about 30 miles away from her. And I'm gonna tell you, man, the craziest thing is, so my mom's having these blood clots in the hospital for about, I don't know, like 2 months. I moved back, so I'm back and forth from Pittsburgh, going back and forth every other week or every 4 or 5 days, because she wasn't doing real well at one point. So we decided we're gonna move to Michigan so we can stop all this running back and forth. Man, we weren't living here. We hadn't been in our house, I want to say, probably about 3 weeks, man. All of a sudden, my mom is off the Coumadin, out the hospital. I'm talking about blood clots gone, and they never had another one since, man. And one of the running jokes in our family was like, shit, if you wanted me to move back to Michigan, all you had to do was put it all through all of this.
Right.
But and I'm telling you, God is good, man. And literally, we were here like 3 weeks, man, and she's just been doing great, man. And I get opportunity to see her, and see my sisters and my nieces and nephews, and all my partners I grew up with, man. But I'm still a little, I'm far enough away from Flint that you can't just pop up over my house.
Right. Now, last thing too, Hawk. So at your job, right? I always say, like, I see the pieces. I talked to Candy, and when y'all come to Atlanta, y'all almost killed me when we went to that fish place and I was choking. Y'all you remember that? You tried to kill me. And
yeah, I remember that,
man. So anyway, look, I always say they blessed. They blessed at that school and that community that you and Candy and your family are there. But how you gonna fill that hole? Are you grooming somebody to come behind you? Like how? Like it's like if they pull you out of there, it's gonna be a problem. Like if you know what I mean. I just be wondering, like, is you bringing somebody along, or are you conscious of that? Does that sometimes, if you think about going somewhere, you think about the kids and the impact of you guys leaving is gonna have on that school and that community? Like how do you deal with that? Because the stuff that you're doing, you only doing it because you care. Like if somebody just had that as a job, they wouldn't be putting in all that extra time and doing all that stuff. So that's your community. Those kids look like you know what I mean? And the impact that you're having. How do you weigh that? Like, how do you know what I mean?
Well, man, that's a good question, man. I get posed that question often, man. I will say this. As the athletic director, man, I hire, every coach that's here, man, and a lot of my coaches, I'm very good at X's and O's initially, but they're good people with a good heart, and I think when it's time for me to step away, I think that the example that I've set, the way that I run this program, the place that it's in right now, that the person that steps in will basically have a blueprint there, to follow. We got some really good people here. So,
will you have any input on who? I'm just curious because, like I keep saying, anybody can have the blueprint, but if they don't care. So I'm like, it's kind of like nowadays with these basketball programs, people are coaching and quitting in the middle of the season so they can put their guy in place. Will you have an opportunity to have an impact on the person that comes behind you, do you think, or you don't know, or what?
I don't know. I would hope so, but I really don't know, because the one thing about being in a school that's financially challenged, man, is that, you got minimal resources. So it's not like, we have that they can say, we're going to give you an assistant athletic director, somebody that I can have, as my right hand that could see day-to-day operations and whatnot. We just simply can't afford that. So when that time does come, you just got to, hopefully, maybe I'll be involved, maybe I won't. But I mean, you just have to do a good job of when they're interviewing, and hopefully it'll be somebody from within, because we got a lot of people here that, a lot of our coaches that are coaching here because they care, man. We got coaches that have been here now 18, 19 years, man, and these dudes have had opportunities to leave and haven't, because of the community and everything that they do and these kids. So we got some great people in place, and I would be confident that somebody would step in and do a good job, man. I really do. And hopefully, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be sitting here. There's some other things that I aspire to do. If the situation is right, I want to coach in college.
At Michigan
I've had
State.
some offers. Yes, I would absolutely love to coach at Michigan State. Absolutely. There's no question about that. Wherever that may be, man, I mean, I know my craft, and I'm pretty good at it.
And last thing, so the thing that gives you the opportunity to be a coach at MSU is because you took your ass back to school and graduated, right?
Absolutely.
And what year was that?
It took me, Kurt, what year was that, man?
I mean, I think it was about 6 years ago.
7 years, 8 years. Maybe 6, maybe 7 years ago. Yeah. Something like that.
And it was important. It was important for you to not get that degree from another school. You was always gonna get it from MSU, or what?
That was exactly it, man. And I ain't gonna say that was one of the reasons that it took me so long, but that was part of it, because I just refused. When I was in Florida, when I first got to Florida, they were like, you can go to South Florida. I was like, I don't want to go to South Florida.
Right.
I'm a Spartan Dawg. Right. My degree needs to say Michigan State on it, period.
Right.
And back then when we first came out, they didn't have some of, there was no extensions and all of that stuff. None of that stuff was where I was at, man. And I was just, I couldn't fathom having a degree from, somewhere else. Candy has a degree. One of them from South Florida. Right. She went on and went, down there. But I just I can't do it. My degree got to say Michigan State, or I'm straight without it. And that was the youth in me speaking, but it's still the same to this day. Still the same. If I could do it over, I would have did it the exact same way, man. I am so proud to be a Michigan State Spartan, man, and that's it, man. I don't, like in my office right now, if you in my office, you almost wouldn't know I played in the league. I got one picture of myself in the pros, but I got a green and white flag. I got a picture of Sparty up here. I'm Spartan, man. That means something.
Now, in all of these podcasts I do, I ask people, so what does a Spartan Dawg mean to you?
Man. Man. So, I was kind of in that era when Spartan Dawgs was just really being put together. It had been, Troy Woody was a senior when I was a freshman. So, I think they started Spartan Dawgs maybe his freshman year up in that time. So it's only like 3 or 4 years strong when I got there. So it is the ultimate brotherhood. When we were in school, before before you guys got there, and it was still the same when you got there. You know, we couldn't pledge. That was a no-no. So this was our own fraternity for the most part. But really, man, for me, Spartan Dawg has been, you know, in college it was that brotherhood, and really for me, I mean, these guys were really like my brothers, as if my mother had birthed them, man. You know, that's how you guys are to me. That's what I see, and that's what I feel for you guys. I know it is a great comfort knowing that I can call a number of guys, and I know they give me a shirt off their back.
Right.
I know that if I'm in financial distress or something, I know I can call guys. If I'm sick, I know that guys is gonna be at my hospital bed. That's a hell of a feeling to have, man.
Right.
To have that kind of for you to know that you got that kind of love, you know, that's powerful, man. So, you know, we don't take each other for granted, you know, and genuinely we see each other, you know, guys are genuinely happy to see each other and really can't wait to see each other. I mean, that is, you know, ain't nothing no punk about it. It's just being a human, man, you know, and you know, we Spartan Dogs for life.
Hola.
Through and through, you know, through and through, man. You know, shit happens. Sometimes we fall out, but that's what brothers do. Brothers fall out. We argue, we fight, we do whatever. But at the end of the day, we all love and care about each other, support one another, and genuinely just, I mean, shit. I mean, it's a great group to be in, man.
And the last thing, Hawk, I ain't never only saw you get mad one time since I known you. You got a pretty cool, even demeanor. You happen to know the one time I see you get mad? Nope, you don't.
Don't tell me. Was you there when Ricardo?
Exactly. Boy, you was hot.
Yeah, you're right. I had to get my toothpick.
Hey, so y'all don't know. We was in the dorms. I think we was drinking some 40s. Ricardo playing around. Think he slapped Hawk elbow while he was drinking his beer, chipped that nigga tooth. Woo! I haven't known you about 20 years, but I ain't never seen you get mad like that, man.
Hey, and to this day, he think it's funny still. Shit, I still owe him why he playing. Shit, I'm gonna get him too.
All right. Well, shit, Hawk, I know you gotta get to work. I appreciate the time. We'll talk.
Hey, my brother. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling, man, and it's a great thing you're doing, man. Keep doing it. Keep doing it, man. Keep pulling us together.
All right, I got one more Spartan Dawg dinner in me. The 10th annual this year might be it. I'm looking for somebody to fill my shoes too, like you are.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. Now look. Now I got to sit down and have a talk with you, man. Shit.
All right, man. So we'll talk. Tell Candy I said hey.